All right, guys, so it's the next day. We're about to go and take this to a place where we have water and get the engine bay power washed as well as the entire rest of the car. We're gonna get it looking nice and fresh. As of right now, we've got the ignition cylinder has been modified for the manual swap. Lighting is not the greatest, but the manual pedals are in, and then the clutch safety switch is wired to itself so that we can drive the car. We still have to paint the interior, paint the carpet or dye the carpet, but we're gonna be working on that here pretty soon. Yeah, we're waiting on timing belt, water pump, and then we can put the tranny together and put the motor back in, and then we're pretty much good to go.
Staring out my window is the bill popping junkie. Young sex symbol, ashes on the cross. All my bitches lost, depressed motherfuckers. Never show no love, got a blunt full of T-Rock. Gripping on the Nina. Run up and I show you why I'm always tweaking. Sleeping through the weekend. Suicidal seasons, I just wanna die. Don't have no fucking reason. Blunt full of codeine. They know that I'm no fiend. Grab a knife and cut me twice and let me die slowly. Creeping out the basement. Inside my heart vacant. Slice me wide open cause I'm too fucking impatient. So wait for that silhouettes of demons in my shadows. Hang me in the gallows. Brain filled with ammo.
All right, so we got the motor in here. We power washed the engine and the engine bay today. Got the automatic transmission removed as well as the automatic transmission accessories. Now we just have to get off this flywheel and bolt it up to that engine stand, but we do not have the correct wrench for the flywheel bolts, so we're just gonna be wrapping it up for the day. Tomorrow we're gonna be finishing up the manual swap by putting in the linkage and finishing up this engine, and then all we got to do is wait for the timing belt, water pump, do a couple other things to this block, and then throw it all back together, as well as paint the carpet. So
you gotta get the carpet done yet.
Yeah, but good progress today. Today was mainly a cleaning day for the car and the engine, but yeah, overall we got work to do. So I'll catch you guys when something cool happens. What is up, guys? So
It's your boy Benito.
Today we are getting this engine ready to be thrown back in the red car. So other than needing to be fully swapped over to all the manual parts that we need, we were gonna do the timing belt and the water pump, but we decided that it probably wasn't worth it, and the reason that we decided it wasn't worth it is because the car runs and drives perfectly fine. And inspecting the water pump looks brand new. There was no issues with it. We're just gonna take the timing belt off and retime it just to be sure, because we have it out. Timing belt looks fine. We're gonna clean everything up and then put a new clutch in, and then it should be good, to be honest. This thing looks pretty good overall. Wasn't too beat up. It was from an automatic, so it didn't take too much damage other than just leaking oil, but we've got all new gaskets for it. So by the end of today, You should see this thing with a manual transmission on it, and it might even be inside of the red car by that point. So, all right, so the timing is redone, and we tensioned it all up good. It's hard to show up on camera. Single cam's super easy to time. Little line down here. I'll put my finger by it. And then there's a little arrow behind here. You can't see it because I can barely see it. But there is an arrow behind there. And then there's an arrow right here and right here. And then your camshaft obviously has two little lines. You line up those arrows with the up mark, and then you put your belt on and you're good to go. Honestly, probably the easiest engine to do a timing belt on.
All right, so we're pretty much done getting the motor ready. We got the manual harness on there. We got a manual ECU ready for it, sitting on the table. All we got to do is suspension. So tie rod ends. We got to do the ball joints. We got to put the coils on. And then we got to drill out the spot welds for the linkage. So hopefully most of that should be done tonight, if not all of it. Quick, if you guys need an automatic trans for an EK Civic, bolt up to a D series.
You guys saw it worked. We literally drove the car last video, or the video before last.
Come pick it up for $20 or roll a dice, and if you get the number that you say, you can have it for free.
That's it, folks. You roll the dice, you can have it for free. So yeah, pretty much all we got to do is everything he just said, plus a couple other things.
Yeah, plus some other shit stuff that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, one of the things we do have to do, so we've got the manual trans sitting right here. Just look it over. It's a good trans. We got to throw a new clutch in, and we also have to put on the flywheel. So other than that, it's ready to go. Manual harness is on, and we're looking pretty.
And we'll have the black carpet.
Oh yeah,
That's
black carpet.
Actually done. JC just got done with that. It's sitting in my front yard right now drying. Then we can put the interior in. Probably grab a hood early next week. Paint that hood black, because I'm not a fan of red cars. And go from there.
Oh, it's dancing around and shit. Stop it, motherfucker.
Wait, hold on. You want to fucking... That whole clip is gonna be me fucking crunching.
You might need to hold this bit more and over.
A little bit farther. It's not quite there yet. All right, well, these lower ball joints are done and in. We gotta wait for some tie rods, and we also have to get some upper. But Nick is down here. Would it help if I rose the car a little bit?
No. It's just gotta wiggle itself out.
He is about to get this the right way. All right, here we go. About to get this automatic shiz out so we can fit the linkage through. Most people just cut a hole in the tunnel here, but if you got the right tools, why not do the right job?
Yeah, if she wants to come off. Where is it sticking?
$149.
Well, there it goes.
Nice. And that is a lot nicer than if it were to just be cut out. Because the time that we did this before, we cut it from the top, just all the
nasty.
way. And it looks bad. This looks much better.
Don't get me wrong, this isn't the prettiest, but this, if you wanted to reuse this, you could. If you were good at cutting out spot welds, every single one would look like this. It wouldn't be botched up. I botched up and I had to use this because I didn't bring the right tools. So the corners got bent. So it's less than ideal of a job, but it certainly is a lot better than just hacking it apart, which if you buy a car that's been manual swapped and you know what to look for, first thing you're gonna look to see what the workmanship of the people was this little tunnel here. And if you look under and you see a big old hole cut out of here and some nasty welds barely covering this stuff, you're not gonna be too happy. Now, if you look down here and you see that the spot welds were cut out, this was all sanded down, it's gonna be painted, we're gonna get the right thing to put over this, you're gonna be a lot happier when you are driving down the road.
And not to mention, if you look from the other side of the car, which I'll show you in just a second, it's a factory hole. We didn't do anything to the top. We didn't cut anything out.
No, it might have got
you right now.
There might be some like little bit of a dent up there from me hitting it, but we didn't drill or cut anything on the top. This was literally a spot weld removal job. And don't get me wrong, if this car was rusted out, this thing probably wouldn't have came off this easy, but it's rust free, so you might as well do the job the right way.
All right, so this is what I mean. This is this hole is already here, and then this is what a lot of the electronics are held in through that little piece that we cut out on the bottom. So you can see, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this side of the car. And what we were talking about doing is just getting some sheet metal, putting it over the top, because there's a little grommet over here that goes on your shift linkage to stop that breeze from coming through when you're driving down the road, and water and snow and everything. So yes, it'll be covered by a plastic piece, nobody will see it, but for the longevity of the car, we're gonna want to do that. So
Probably took about the same amount of time as trying to cut out a nasty hole.
well, I mean, either way, I got the ball joints done while you're doing that, so it's basically free time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's only like 7:30 trying to get these coils in.
Let's do it.
While we're getting these coilovers in, I just want to remind everybody, while yes, it is amazing and a huge help to have a lift, you can do all this stuff at home on 4 jack stands or on 2 ramps and 2 jack stands, whatever you want to do.
This is built on 4 jack stands.
This is convenience because we have worked and gotten to this point. If you want to do this, get out and go do it. It's not that hard as long as you believe in yourself. I mean, it sounds corny, but for real, just put the work in and you'll see.
Real, like, honestly, if you guys want to do something, literally all you have to do is put your head down and do it. There's absolutely nothing getting in the way of your dreams except for yourself. You need to sit down every single day and think to yourself, what do I want to be when I grow up? And if that something doesn't make you happy and make you want to work hard, then it's not truly what you want to be. So that's all I got to say. What do I want to be when I grow up? I want to be a Honda man. So what am I doing right now?
Honda shit, baby.
Honda stuff.
But yes, guys, this stuff does not come overnight. Tools are not cheap, and it's not easy to acquire them. You have to work hard. And if there's any of you guys that want to do a build and truly believe that you can't, hit us up on the Instagram. If you actually cannot do anything, we will give you a hand one way or another. But I believe anybody who has time to watch these videos has plenty of time to go do this shit themselves.
Yeah.
I want to show you guys this trick real quick. Sometimes if tires are stuck, you want to go, obviously, the easiest option, smack it with your hand.
Which you saw in the previous clip did not work out for me.
Did not work quite good. You can kick it, sometimes it works. Absolute last case, if you really can't get it unstuck, what you're going to want to do is lower the car, and usually the weight of the car breaks it if you just put the lug nuts on just a little bit hand tight. but this never seems to fail for me. Obviously, you don't want to hit the wheel itself, but go for the tire right at the bottom. It'll come right off 90% of the time. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Coilovers are on. We didn't mess with the height at all.
No, it should be max height. Max high, not max low. Man, this should take way longer when I'm waiting to see what it looks like. No different.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, I mean, the stockies made it look lifted.
Yeah, now it looks not bad.
Now it looks like it's got an engine in there. But
Yeah, we'll get this thing adjusted and it'll look good. It's the next day and we are going to put the transmission on the engine. So we were going to put a new clutch in this thing, but we decided not to because the clutch that we had was in pretty good shape. So just checking over the transmission, I wanted to make sure that the throwout bearing wasn't bad, and it seems to be fine. We're going to reuse this thing because we're on a budget here, guys. We purchased everything we need to make this thing like brand new, but we can both use it for both of our cars or for another project. This doesn't need to be, not every build you do needs to have every single part brand new. As long
as it works good, that's the important part.
If you're resourceful and you swap an engine in and you say, damn, I should have changed out the clutch, you probably should have. But now you got an excuse to pull the engine back out, get more XP, and change out the clutch. It's never a big deal. So if you want to throw your stuff together with used parts just to get it running.
And especially something like this, like, yes, the whole point of this project is to flip the car. It doesn't mean we're trying to scam somebody. If everything works great, that's all that matters. It's the fact that why do we need to waste these new parts on something that's already totally fine? And half of them are OEM parts at that. Like, why would we want to use anything less than that?
Yeah,
Anybody who knows Honda knows that OEM Honda is better than anything close.
That's the thing. We can swap in some brand new Rock Auto parts, but 9 times out of 10, Rock Auto is sending you stuff from China. Unless you pay the extra whatever amount, which we aren't paying that extra amount. This is a budget build.
Clutches with 150,000 miles on them or whatever they have are good enough to get another 150K, or we can put that brand new Rock Auto one and it'll only get 50K miles. You know, who knows?
So.
I don't have enough experience with them. I have experience with the OEM. So
all right, so basically we're putting on a used flywheel right now. Visually it's not perfect, but again, we're doing this on a budget. If you wanted to do this the right way, you'd take this into a shop and get it resurfaced. I didn't get the Prelude's flywheel resurfaced when I rebuilt it, and the thing ran good enough to hit a tree. So if that doesn't give you an answer, then I don't know what will. It's really up to you. It's your call, depending on what you're trying to achieve. But yeah, we're about to throw this flywheel on. This is 4 manual, and then we'll line up the clutch, throw the clutch in, bolt on the transmission, and we'll be good to go.
all right, so the flywheel is on and torqued to spec, which if you guys are wondering, it's gonna be 80 foot-pounds. A lot of people say a lot of different things, but 80 foot-pounds for those on the D series and the B series, am I correct?
79 foot-pounds.
Yeah. So now, to get the clutch on, we're gonna grab our clutch alignment tool. So you're gonna wanna go over to your spare tranny and grab your clutch alignment tool.
Yeah, guys, so all you need is a spare transmission, and then what you're going to want to do is just pull this part of the transmission out, and it works as a perfect clutch alignment tool. Now, if we didn't plan on rebuilding this transmission, we would just cut this and then put a nice little handle on it. But I think one day this transmission will be rebuilt, but for now, it makes a damn good clutch alignment tool. We got the leverage, but you folks, we
stock weapons, 47s, 45s, techs, pose on deck, cut the borders, more than one reason that I'm.
All right, so the clutch is on, good and torqued. We are preparing the transmission. We just gave it a good blow off. We just blew a tranny, whatever you want to say. In blowing a tranny, I got some stuff in my eyes. You know how it goes. Sometimes you get stuff in your eyes when you blow trannies. So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Cookie pizzas in the kitchen, passing out on the couch. I'll die from being bored. Sing a sad ass song with just 4 chords. Oh Lord. Sing a sad ass song, another dab in the 7th ward. Oh Lord. Sing a sad ass song for a young stone, putting in hours at the morgue. Sing a sad ass song.
So the time lapse was interrupted by a phone call, but it's kind of a perfect point to stop here because the transmission is on. I've been told that it looks really good when 2 guys are putting a tranny on. So if you guys enjoyed the show, definitely drop a like. I know my butt looks good in this jumpsuit. I'm not trying to be fruity, but I've been told that before. Anyways, tranny's on. The tranny support bracket is different, manual to automatic. So that's another thing that you're going to want to note when doing the swap. I will note it myself and include it in the full parts list for doing the manual swap. But yeah, here's the EG. Here's the motor. We're going to be dropping this thing in tonight, so should be fun. This might be a little unnecessary, but we forgot the truck because we drove the EG here today. So we're just borrowing this box truck real quick. All right, so the engine's back down here where the lift is. At this point, all we need to do is go and buy some oil, as well as an oil filter, and then we need to pick up a few miscellaneous things from my house. And then that will leave us with the shell and the engine. The only thing that the shell needs, you can just barely see it, the only thing it needs is just a couple miscellaneous odds and ends, like the tie rod ends and the upper control arms and ball joints. I just got the tie rod ends in today, but the upper control arms and ball joints, we didn't know we would need them until last night, so they're on order. And then we do need to drill out the holes for the linkage and then patch the little transmission hole. And then there's just a couple other miscellaneous things that we need to do. The engine is good to go though. The only thing that needs to be installed on here is the slave cylinder, which somewhere around here we have literally, is it around here? It's okay, yeah, it's in the car. So we got the slave cylinder all the way up to the master with brand new lines, so that's all good to go. Yeah, there's really nothing other than the starter that we got to put on this thing, but we're gonna go back into town, grab what we need to grab, and then get back to work. Tonight we might get the engine in. I think we'll get the engine in tonight.
Probably.
I think we'll probably have the engine in, and best case scenario, we see it start tonight.
Well, I mean, we'll for sure have it in.
Yeah.
It's just if it starts or not.
Best case scenario, we see it start.
View from a balcony, pulling up blue lawn chairs next to the ice chest of 2 grams in the blood that we just brewed. Now I'm getting blown by a bitch who I don't know her name. Gold chain hanging, got a few in the room, but I don't wear them out. Only wear them in the house, cause I shine so bright that I wanna blind you. Who knew young snow, but didn't know that there's a rest true.
All right, so we are pretty much done. We gotta put the intake on and then switch these because we put them on backwards at first. Hook up the battery, and that's it. But this is the motor in the car. We wire brushed over some surface rust on the subframe and covered that up. but other than that, cleaned up pretty well. And I mean, we should put like a before and after of the motor, because the motor used to be dirty.
Yeah, we didn't do a whole lot other than what you guys saw in the video and some light wire brushing. You can really do this type of stuff on a budget and make it look decent. Like, this is like bare bones budget. If you guys wanted to stick an extra, you know, a couple hours of elbow grease into it or a couple bucks into some paint, you could really, really make your thing.
Or honestly, even just take it to your local machine shop and have them clean it. I mean, if you have a bare block, it's like, what is it, like $50 to clean if you're only cleaning it. If you're getting it done, I mean, they'll pretty much do it for free most places. All right, so
This is a game show. Can you flip a coin?
go ahead. Heads.
What is it?
Heads.
All right, you get to crank it.
100%.
Let me record.
Wait, hold on. Power. Here you go.
Spark plugs. Spark plug wires.
Fuel pump.
Not coming on.
All right, so well, we forgot to put the ECU in, but
Yeah.
it's still cranked. So I mean,
Yeah, we were getting ahead of ourselves, and we forgot to put the computer in for the car. Still cranked though.
important.
Bro, it's a Honda. You just gotta.
And now she's good to go. Sounds good to me. Oh, perfect.
A little shaky, but
It's also
Turns
on a
on.
lift.
yeah, we're good. Runs.
Runs. It'll drive in like a little bit.
It'll drive.
It might drive tomorrow. We'll see what the schedule's like.
Yeah, we'll see what the schedule's like.
All right, guys. So this is our $1,000 budget auto to manual swap. It's better than a lot of the cars you see around where we live. So I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. I think we're gonna call this the end of part 2. In part 3, you guys will probably see us run it into a tree or something. I don't know. We're gonna get the suspension dialed in, adjust the coilovers, figure that out. We gotta get some tie rods in, tidy up some odds and ends. Obviously, we still gotta get the interior in, but running and driving first, because I mean, we can bolt a seat in there and run it into a tree. So we'll see you guys next time. Make sure to subscribe if your car burns oil.